Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King, and we're coming to you from the locker room today here on the campus of Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. We're going to be talking Islander men's hoops with head coach Willis Wilson. Also, Islander volleyball with head coach Steve Green. We also have a special feature focusing on the art of the still. I'll tell you more about that coming up. Right now, let's talk some men's hoops, though, with the head coach of Islander men's basketball, Coach Willis Wilson. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm really good, really good. We're getting into the flow. Lots and lots of things happening right now. More and more sports underway. You guys are getting that much closer to getting into full swing. So it's an exciting time here on the island, that's for sure. One of the exciting things that happened recently is that we have officially put out our schedule. And let's talk a little bit about our schedule and stuff, because there's always some interesting dates to point out. You know, one thing in particular, we have some good and tough road games this year. You know, we're going to Baylor, Ole Miss, Georgia. Kind of tell us about those selections.
Well, they're all top-notch competition.
Absolutely.
Teams that have national reputations, teams that have done some significant things in the college basketball landscape, and it's an opportunity for us to learn. Our hope, our desire is to be able to play that level of competition in the NCAA tournament. So we're going to be tested, obviously, in those basketball games, especially the fact that they're on the road. But it'll be an opportunity for our young team to learn. We've got a number of young guys that need that type of experience, and our hope is that we can use that experience going into conference play and hopefully in the postseason, so that we're an Islander basketball team that can play with the level of excitement and aggression that we've become accustomed to.
That's all part of your pre-conference schedule. Of course, conference will get underway, I think, in late December is when things will get rolling. And when we start things here at home, we got an interesting three-game stretch. We have three-game stretch starting at the very end of December, right into the first couple weeks of January, with Lamar, Northwestern State, and Sam Houston State. I bring those up because I think they're interesting. Lamar and the Islanders, it's a slugfest, guaranteed, every time, no matter what. Northwestern State's bringing back the former player of the year, Jalen West, and great kid that he is, glad to see him on the floor, but he's going to be a handful. And of course, Sam, everybody knows about what goes on between us and Sam.
Well, I'll just start out with Lamar. Lamar is immensely improved, and they're a program that really wants to make their mark in the Southland Conference. They've done a number of things on the periphery with facilities and upgrades and that sort of thing, but they've done a great job in the recruiting area. And Coach Price, he's done a terrific job, as you pointed out. It's been a slugfest every time we take the court with those guys. So we expect nothing different in that regard. Jalen West, Northwestern State. Now that's an amazing story. He will come back for a seventh year to finish out his eligibility. And in his defense, he's had such a hard time with injuries, and some pretty severe injuries. And from everything that I've experienced with Jalen West, he's a great kid. He deserves this opportunity, but he makes them a contender.
Absolutely.
And if he gets healthy, he could be a Player of the Year candidate in this conference. And then to close out with Sam Houston, what do you say? I mean, every game we've had with them has been a slugfest. I think 8 out of the last 9 times we've played, it's come down to a 4-point game.
That's right.
Both teams have come out victorious on one side or the other in some of those close ball games, and so you don't expect anything less from Sam Houston. You
got some new kids that are going to be coming in this year that are going to experience a lot of this for the very first time, this type of attention, this type of pressure, this type of competition for the very first time. Let's talk a little bit about your freshmen. First, of course, you got the Ray brothers, Sean and Dion, coming out of Porter High School. And I watched a YouTube clip with them about why they came here. And all they kept saying about was, I love the coaching staff, and this is a family here. And they adopted that immediately. But tell me about the Rays.
Yeah, they're guys that are they're the nicest, most polite guys off the floor. And when they get on the floor, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde experience. Sure. They play with such tenacity and passion. And they're very genuine. The word authentic, I think, often is overstated, but I think those guys are incredibly authentic. You just know what you're going to get out of those guys. They know what it means to compete at a high level, and that's one of the things that really excites me, is that they're not going to be afraid of anybody as we take the basketball court for this campaign.
You have Miles Smith joining us out of Klein High School, a former teammate of Elijah Schmidt back when he was in school. Trey Gray out of Oakland, California. his connection goes all the way back to Hamid Ali. You know, great to see, you know, somebody from Northern California representing here once again. And locally, Payton Smith, the 5A MVP from last year from Veterans Memorial, all part of the team.
You know, Payton has been an interesting story from a walk-on standpoint. You typically look at guys like that and you say, hey, just go to the side there and kind of stay out of the way. Payton has been a nice addition to our basketball team. The good news with Payton is he's a guy that you don't notice. And that just means he's so incredibly sound, so incredibly solid. And he's doing a great job on the basketball floor. He's doing a great job off the floor. He's a great teammate. And he's a great addition to this program, especially to have somebody of his caliber as a local guy in our program. With Miles and with Trey, I think those guys, their upside is just incredible.
Yeah.
They're going to be incredible players for us, and they're going to make an impact this year.
Last time we were here, we talked a little bit about Hurricane Harvey and the impact it had on the coastal bend. Your team had a chance to go see it up close and personal. Go out in there and do some volunteer work. Go help. You know, hopefully, what was the takeaway they got from that?
I think a number of things that really stood out. Obviously, just being able to see that, for a young person to be able to see that with their own eyes, I think they just developed an appreciation for all of the things they have, and how fortunate we were as an institution, how fortunate they were as individuals to not be impacted to the degree that some of the folks across the Bay were impacted. I think the other takeaway is that they were excited to be able to help somebody. They were really excited to serve and give something back to this community in a very tangible way, and we were only able to help one family.
But there was a lot of work for one family.
There was a lot of work for one family, and I think that was the last takeaway, is just there's a lot to do. There's still a lot to do in this community.
There's no doubt. Well, folks, you know, it's exciting. Things are coming around for us right now. October 25th, we've got Islander Invasion coming up. We hope everybody comes out and be a part of it, you know, when we introduce the teams to everyone. Should be a great day. Coach, any final thoughts on that?
Practice is here. That means it's basketball season. Let's get it rolling.
Let's get it rolling. Coach Willis Wilson joining us here in the locker room once again. Right now, let's send it out to Tamsin Stonebarger with an Islanders update.